Learn about a country every day. Australia. Australia is the only country that occupies an entire continent. It is also the largest nation in Oceania. Australia's total area is 7.69 million square kilometers. This places it below Brazil but above India in size. The mainland is made up of 6 states and 2 territories. Additionally, Australia has over 8,000 islands. These are grouped into 6 external territories. It's worth noting that Australia's capital is not Sydney or Melbourne. It is Canberra, located between them. Now, if we remove Russia's European part and overlay Australia onto a map of Europe, you'll find Australia is nearly 20% larger than Europe. Given such a vast area, you might think Australia has a huge population. In reality, the country has only about 27 million people. To put this in perspective, consider that Java Island in Indonesia is about 60 times smaller than Australia, but its population is 5.5 times larger than Australia's. Moreover, much of Australia's interior is desert. Nearly 2/3 of Australians live in coastal cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. This is because Australia lies within the subtropical high-pressure belt, resulting in scarce rainfall inland. Additionally, the Great Dividing Range in the east blocks moisture from the Pacific Ocean from reaching the interior. This explains why Australia's population distribution is extremely uneven. For example, the Shire of East Pilbara in Western Australia is roughly the same size as Japan, but has a population of less than 10,000 people. And Australia's Anna Creek Station is the world's largest cattle ranch. It has only 8 people and a massive herd of 10,000 cattle. However, although Australia has vast deserts, its extremely sparse population actually makes Australia one of the world's leaders in arable land per capita. But the country's land is not fertile. In fact, it is very poor. This is because Australia's land is incredibly ancient. After billions of years of scouring, sun exposure, and weathering, the nutrients in the soil have been largely depleted. Thus, Australia is also the world's most barren continent. Additionally, the country's highest mountain is Mount Kosciuszko. Its longest river is the Murray River. The Murray-Darling River Basin forms an oasis of about 1 million square kilometers. This is Australia's most important agricultural region. Also, as a country occupying an entire continent, Australia also has some unique species, such as kangaroos, koalas, emus, and platypuses. It's worth noting that, although Australia is part of the Commonwealth, the first Europeans to sight Australia were the Dutch. The Dutchman Willem Jansson named this land New Holland. Over 100 years later, the Englishman James Cook mapped Australia's east coast and named it New South Wales. Just 5 years after James Cook drew his map, America went to war with Britain for independence. Losing this war forced Britain to lose vast territories in America, compelling it to find another place to exile its convicts. Clearly, Australia was perfectly suited for this purpose at that time. Convicts were sent in batches to the penal colony at Botany Bay, which is present-day Sydney. Over a period of about 80 years, more than 165,000 convicts were transported to Australia. This explains why about 85% of the country's population is of European descent. Asians are the second largest minority group, making up about 12%. Indigenous Australians comprise about 3%. Australia's GDP in 2023 was $1.72 trillion, with a per capita GDP exceeding $65,000.